Okay, so sometimes you see a local news story and you're just like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
That's us with this whole Memphis school thing.
Uh-huh.
Superintendent about to be fired after less than a year.
8 months. Yeah, it's crazy.
Public is losing their minds.
Yeah.
This is some serious drama, and that's why we are deep diving into it.
Absolutely. And it's funny, this one is actually kind of personal for me. I grew up in Memphis.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, that adds a whole new layer to this then.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who maybe just knows Memphis as like Elvis, Graceland barbecue, that kind of stuff,
Right.
can you give us a little like vibe check?
Yeah.
What is Memphis like beyond the touristy things
Yeah.
that would help us understand this whole school situation?
Yeah. So, I mean, Memphis is, it's the South. It's got that Southern charm, but it's also a city that's seen some tough times.
Yeah.
And education has always been a big part of that. The school system has had good times and bad times. And honestly, this isn't the first superintendent shakeup they've been through.
So this Dr. Marie Feagins, the superintendent everyone's talking about,
Right.
she didn't exactly step into a calm situation, though.
No, not really. She was hired back in April.
Okay.
So just 8 months ago, and they did this big search. And get this, she came from the Detroit public schools.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's not new to big city school problems.
You would think that kind of experience would be like perfect.
Yeah, you'd think
It
so.
makes you wonder what happened.
Yeah, why things went so wrong so fast.
Right, because Memphis obviously wanted her. They put all this effort into finding her,
Yeah, they spent a lot of time and money trying to get the right person.
and now they want to fire her,
It's definitely a head scratcher.
especially with this list of charges against her. I'm looking at the board resolution here, and
Yeah.
woof,
Yeah.
accused of lying about overtime costs, hiding a big donation, messing up a federal grant.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, some of those accusations are really serious,
Yep.
but some just seem like she messed up some paperwork or something.
Right.
Makes you wonder if they're just looking for a reason to get rid of her.
Like, is this really fire her stuff, or is there something else going on?
Maybe there's some behind-the-scenes drama we don't know about.
Right. Is this a personality clash or something?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Because from what I've seen, the public is not happy.
Oh, no, they are not.
They're not messing around.
I mean, people are lining up to talk at these board meetings,
Wow.
waiting outside in the rain just to get their chance to speak.
They're serious.
Yeah, they're clearly invested in what's happening with these schools.
And that board meeting where they were supposed to vote on firing her,
Oh, yeah.
packed house.
Yeah, standing room only.
People cheering for Feagins, booing the board.
Sounds like a movie.
It does. And what's really interesting is how angry everyone seems at the board specifically.
Yeah, there's a lot of anger there.
Like one person even said they're more worried about power struggles than helping the kids.
Oh, that's a rough accusation.
It almost makes you wonder if the board is the problem, not the superintendent.
It's hard to say for sure, but it does make you think.
Yeah, is this normal for Memphis school board meetings, or is this something different?
It's a good question because they have had issues in the past.
Okay, so we've got a fired up public,
Yeah,
a board that seems to have it out for Feagins,
it seems that way.
and a superintendent who's used to dealing with tough situations.
Right.
What did Feagins have to say for herself?
Right.
She did have a chance to defend herself at that meeting, right? What was her tone? Was she like, I'm out of here? Or was she ready to fight back?
From reading the transcript of the meeting, it seems like she came ready to fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she wanted to address every single charge and clear her name.
Yeah, she wasn't backing down.
So what were, the main points of her defense?
Well, on the overtime issue, she was basically saying, like, hey, I'm actually being more transparent than anyone before me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She said she'd been giving the board tons of data they never even had before.
Trying to get a handle on all these potential problems.
So she's saying they're using her attempt to clean things up against her.
Basically, yeah.
Wow, that's bold.
It is.
What about the donation and the grant?
Right. Those are harder to explain away.
Yeah.
For the $45,000 donation, she said it was an honest mistake.
Okay.
Said it was returned immediately to avoid any, appearance of wrongdoing. As for the federal grant, she admitted she missed the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, that's a big one.
she emphasized that she was working with the state to figure out a workaround
Okay.
so they could still use the money for what it was meant for.
Weird thing.
It's to help homeless students and families.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's not denying anything, really, just saying it wasn't intentional.
Right. Just procedural missteps, not like she was trying to do anything wrong.
Is that going to fly, though?
I don't know. I mean, missing a deadline for a federal grant, that's pretty serious.
Yeah, there's just forgetting to sign a permission slip.
Exactly. And it's interesting how much she focused on the process, not the results.
Yeah, like she was following the rules even if things didn't work out.
It makes you wonder if that's why she's butting heads with the board.
Like maybe they want someone who's more focused on the big picture.
Right, someone who gets things done even if they have to bend the rules a little.
It's a different style of leadership, for sure.
Yeah, and it can definitely create tension.
But let's not forget, firing her is going to cost them.
Oh yeah, her contract has a big buyout clause.
How much are we talking?
Almost $500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money that could be going to, like, literally anything else the schools need.
Right. Textbooks, teachers, support staff.
It's just crazy.
It is, and you have to wonder about the bigger financial picture of Memphis schools, too.
Right. Are they doing okay money-wise, or are they struggling?
Because that would definitely add another layer to the board's decision here.
Okay, so let's recap here. We've got a superintendent with a great track record who came in and made some changes. And now she's facing some serious accusations. We've got a public that is super divided.
Very passionate on both sides.
Some people love her. Some people are on the board side.
Right.
And then there's this whole history of financial problems and instability in the district.
It's a lot to unpack.
It really is. It's like a tangled mess.
It is. And what gets me is how quickly this all happened.
Right.
Like, 8 months is nothing in the life of a school district.
You would think it would take longer for things to blow up like this.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder if there's something else going on.
Yeah, like some personal drama or power struggles we don't know about.
Right.
And remember, she's an outsider.
Oh, yeah. She came from Detroit.
Completely different city.
Different world.
Maybe she just didn't understand how things work in Memphis.
Or maybe she stepped on some toes without realizing it.
It's possible.
So are we saying she was set up to fail?
I don't know about that, but it's worth thinking about.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Is she really a bad manager like the board says? Or is this just a personality clash? Are they really upset about her policies? Or are they just resistant to change?
It's hard to say.
Or maybe they just don't like that she's an outsider.
You know, any new leader coming into a system like this is going to face some pushback.
Especially if they make big changes.
Exactly. And she did make some big changes.
Like what?
She restructured the central office, closed some schools, changed up the staffing.
Yeah, that'll ruffle some feathers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So maybe some of this is just people who felt threatened by her changes.
Or maybe they just don't like her style.
Right.
But what about the specific charges against her?
Right, let's break it down.
Let's start with the overtime thing.
Okay.
She says she was being transparent with all that data, but the board says she made accusations without any proof.
It sounds like they just disagree on what abuse of overtime means.
Hmm.
She might have seen something in the data that the board didn't think was a big deal.
So maybe it's just a communication breakdown.
Could be, and it shows there's a lack of trust there. Because if they don't trust each other, even small disagreements can turn into huge fights.
And then there's the donation.
Yeah, accepting $45,000 without the boards, okay, that's a clear violation.
Even if it was an accident.
I mean, it does make you wonder about her judgment.
Like maybe she doesn't fully get how things work in Memphis.
It's possible.
Okay, so maybe she made some mistakes.
Yeah.
Maybe she rubbed some people the wrong way.
Uh-huh.
But is that really a reason to fire her after only 8 months?
It's a tough call.
Is that really what's best for the students and the district?
That's the question everyone's asking in Memphis.
And there's no easy answer.
No, because you need a superintendent who follows the rules and manages things well.
Right.
But you also don't want to create a culture of fear where no one feels like they can do anything.
Right. You need some balance.
Exactly. And this whole situation has really exposed some deep divisions in the community.
For sure. People have strong opinions about this.
And it makes you think about the role of the school board and how much power they have.
And what it means to be a leader in a school district these days.
It's complicated.
What happens now?
That's a good question. The board delayed the vote on firing her.
Right, but it doesn't seem like things have calmed down at all.
No, not really. What's next? Well, the board scheduled another meeting to investigate the allegations against her.
Okay.
Maybe that will clear things up and help everyone make a better decision.
Hopefully.
But it's also possible this just keeps getting worse.
I don't know, like what?
Like a legal battle, or even people are talking about a recall election for some of the board members.
Whoa, hold on, a recall election. Can they even do that?
So that's where it gets interesting. Apparently, according to the Shelby County Charter, school board members can't be recalled.
What? So even if everyone hates the board, They can't just vote them out.
It's kind of crazy, right?
That is wild.
Yeah, it definitely makes people feel powerless, and it really shows how important those school board elections are.
Right, like you got to vote for people who are actually going to work for the community.
Exactly, people who are willing to work together and put the kids first.
It's a good reminder for everyone to pay attention to those local elections.
Yeah.
Even the school board ones.
Yeah.
It might not be as exciting as the presidential election, but they matter.
They really do. They affect our communities in a huge way.
And this whole Memphis thing, it's not just a local issue either.
Right.
It feels like it reflects what's happening all over the country.
Absolutely. You see this clash between wanting change and being afraid of it everywhere.
Especially when it comes to schools.
Yeah, schools have been doing things the same way for so long.
It's like everyone agrees that education is important, but no one wants to change anything.
Exactly. And then you add in budget problems and pandemic recovery and politics, and it's just a recipe for disaster.
It feels like the stakes are so high.
They are.
And then in the middle of all this, you've got the students and the teachers and the parents
right.
just trying to figure it all out.
Trying to make it work.
This Memphis thing is a good reminder that education isn't just about, like, test scores and stuff.
Yeah. About people.
For your people.
And relationships and who has the power.
And who's making decisions for everyone else.
It also shows how important it is for the community to be involved.
Absolutely.
When the school board is like off doing their own thing and not listening to anyone, that's when things fall apart.
Yeah, that's when you get mistrust and conflict.
So we all got to stay informed and get involved in our own communities.
Yeah, make your voice heard.
This whole thing with Feagins, it's interesting.
It is.
She came in wanting to change things, which is great.
Yeah.
But maybe she went about it the wrong way.
It's a good lesson for all leaders.
Like, you need to know how to play the game a little bit.
Yeah. You got to build relationships and get people on your side before you start making big changes.
Because you can have the best ideas in the world, but if no one's listening to you, it doesn't matter.
You're not going to get anywhere.
But it is inspiring to see how the Memphis community came together on this.
All that support for Feagins and all the criticism of the board, it shows they really care about their schools.
And it raises a good question for everyone listening. What role do you want to play in your own community?
Do you want to sit back and watch, or do you want to get involved?
Because the future of education is up to all of us.
It's not set in stone. We get to decide what it looks like.
And we make better choices when we're informed and engaged and working together.
So as this Memphis story keeps going, we hope you'll stay informed and engaged and hopeful.
Yeah.
The problems in education are real, but so's the power of people working together.
We believe in the power of education to change lives.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Memphis school meltdown.
We'll keep following the story and let you know what happens.
And remember, the learning never stops. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.